Okay. Hello, and thank you for your interest in the Senior Project, a collaboration with Allegheny Department of Human Services CYF Division. My name is Afoso Olumese, and I am assisted by my team, Grace Dunbar, Jack Rossi, and Ryan Tarkington. Our work this semester focused on employing industrial engineering techniques to improve service of the transportation needs of the county's foster children. The Children, Youth, and Families Division within the Allegheny County DHS oversees services for over 1,000 children in out-of-home care. The CYF Transportation Unit conducts more than 10,000 trips annually, transporting children in the system for visits with their biological parents and to and from school. Our sponsor, Eddie Jones, was brought to help CYF through a Foster America Fellowship. The mission of this program is to improve the lives of America's most vulnerable by transforming the child welfare system. Case aides, the trained counselors who provide transportation using their own vehicles, have for years experienced difficulty in the allocation and dispatching of trips. Among the consequences of these struggles are costly overtime and missed trips. Recently, the localized case aid operations have been centralized at the East Regional Office. There is now opportunity to roll out a comprehensive trip scheduling process complete with professional scheduling software. Through standardization of the trip scheduling process, we aim to improve two of CYF's chief operational metrics: rate of trips missed, which captures the quality of service, and cost per trip, which describes the efficiency with which CYF delivers value to the county's foster children. Our approach to meet these objectives has three distinct prongs: a process analysis to document existing practices and highlight improvement opportunities, a capacity analysis to evaluate the alignment of trip supply to foster child demand, and a survey of scheduling platforms to discover the value that software tools can provide the future state process. The scheduling process at CYF begins as a stream of emails from the kids' information system to one of our schedulers. Schedulers monitor their mailboxes daily, and when a new request arrives, they promptly allocate the trip to the normal working hours of one of their case aid partners. The process becomes much more complicated when a request arrives that a scheduler cannot cover within his or her case aid's normal working hours. In the exchange of communications and responsibility, trips can sometimes fall through the cracks. The best case scenario is that every trip is completed in a case aid's normal working hours. However, too often trips are either missed or require drafting of case aids for overtime work. At the heart of these quality issues is the non-standard manual process of creating and maintaining case aid trip schedules. We developed a list of requirements for software services that might help to standardize the scheduling process and eliminate redundancy. Some of the requirements were interface usability, visual drag-and-drop calendars, and responsive communication between schedulers and case aides. We then engaged in demos and phone conversations to create a comparison matrix of how well the software met the criteria. The best competitor based on this analysis was Fleetmatics, a workforce management software owned by Verizon. Having chosen a software to enable a streamlined future state process, we sought to identify the proper levels for staffing it based on trip demand records. We visualized the imbalance between case aid resources and trip demand. The highly variable demand for trips, 16 hours a day and 7 days a week, proved to be a major driver of overtime costs, since a majority of the case aides still worked a traditional work week. We developed an Excel model to build potential work schedules and evaluate their effectiveness against operational metrics. The current state staffing on average produced 140 hours of overtime work per week, as well as 51% utilization of case aides. Starting from this baseline, we developed staffing models that would improve the overtime costs of the present state. Our Mean One model mimics the results of a linear optimization built by a CYF analyst. Another model was built using third quartile demand in a kind of sensitivity analysis. Comparing the results, our mean one model produced the greatest reduction in overtime, which was a high priority metric for CYF. This amounted into a 7% decrease in the $1.9 million in case aid labor spending. With management help, CYF will roll out a simplified standard process for scheduling case aid trips. Using Fleetmatics will create more effective communication between case aids and support, and will lay the data framework for further analyses and improvement, including measurement of missed trips. In combination with a labor force whose work hours are realigned to trip requirements, CYF will begin a new effort to serve the needs of the children of Allegheny County.